Caitlin Clark. This is wild.
This is it a couple minutes before the show that I had what I thought is a bomb, and it's directly related to Bosco.
Really?
And he said, how mad are you? And I said, on a scale of 10, I think I'm an 11 or a 12. Like, I'm really mad. So
and he wouldn't tell me the bomb. I asked him
said
on
what
the
it
walk
is.
over. I was like, do you want to tell me now? He's like, no, I want to surprise you.
So, and this is the truth. We're in Indianapolis. There's a WNBA team that plays here. Indiana, I am a huge fan.
Yes.
I've been to the games. Caitlin Clark, we stay.
That face says everything you need to know. Dave Portnoy just discovered he's been blocked by Caitlin Clark. Not unfollowed, blocked. Green messages, no response, complete radio silence. This is the same guy who traveled to Iowa to watch her play LSU in college. The same guy who's been defending her against WNBA critics for months. And now, cut off completely. So what happened?
Clarify.
Okay, he put her brother on the phone.
Somebody on the phone related to this family, a McCaffrey. She blocked me. What? No. Caitlin Clark has blocked me and is now not responding to me.
That ain't me.
Since, yes, it is.
How's it me?
You put the phone in front of me. I didn't even know who it was. I'm like, who is this? Because they're mad about Fran McCaffrey.
Wow.
You cost me a Caitlin Clark relationship.
Yeah, you got to cut him off. Homie, look. Who needs enemies when you have friends like that? Nah. If he don't cost you a Caitlin Clark relationship, friendship, get rid of him. You're Vince Man. Fired.
Connor McCaffrey. That's the answer. Caitlin's boyfriend and the son of former Iowa head coach Fran McCaffrey. Because here's what Dave's leaving out of this story. This wasn't just some random dinner conversation gone wrong. Iowa fired Fran McCaffrey in March 2024 after 17 years as head coach. The program hired Ben McCollum from Missouri State to replace him. And apparently someone at Barstool had opinions about that decision. Opinions that made it back to the McCaffrey family.
But then he put a McCaffrey in front of me on a cell phone. I didn't know who I was talking about. And he's like, I don't like what you guys have been saying about my dad. I'm like, who am I even talking to?
Right.
And then it went viral.
We also wouldn't say anything about Fran McCaffrey.
Nothing. So this is because her boyfriend, Connor McCaffrey's dad, Fran, was fired and ran out of town by Iowa. And apparently, these dudes was talking greasy, and Dave Portnoy is caught in the crossfires. And Caitlin said, oh, nah. I choose Connor over you, over my friendship with you.
For him.
Now we're getting the real story. Someone at that dinner put Connor McCaffrey on speakerphone right in front of Dave, and Connor wasn't happy about how Barstool covered his father's firing. Dave says he didn't even know who he was talking to at first. But by the time he figured it out, the damage was done. The clip went viral, and Caitlin made her choice. She chose her boyfriend's family over her relationship with one of the biggest sports media personalities in America.
In front of me on a cell phone to Green. I DM'd her. No response. She always responds. You cost me my #1 relationship.
Are you kidding me?
I will get that back. No, you won't.
You will?
I'll work on it. We'll figure it
Because
out.
did you see what?
Not me.
Did you see what he did at dinner?
Yeah, well, it's all because Fran McCaffrey got ran out of town.
But then he put a McCaffrey in front of me on a cell phone. I didn't know who I was talking about. And he's like, I don't like what you guys have been saying about my dad. I'm like, who am I even talking to?
Right.
And then it went viral.
We also wouldn't say anything about Fran.
Here's what makes this complicated. Dave claims Barstool never said anything harsh about Fran McCaffrey, just commentary about Iowa's coaching change and whether Ben McCollum was the right hire. Standard sports media analysis, but the McCaffrey family clearly interpreted it differently. And when you're dating into that family, when Connor's father just lost a job he held for nearly 2 decades, you're not going to side with the media personality, even if he's been your biggest supporter.
Oh, that went viral? Oh, I never saw that clip. I never saw that.
Right.
Talking about Ben McCollum being grass ain't greener, you know, you ran Fran McCaffrey out of town after 17 years.
You gave me a duplicate Caitlin Clark jersey last year.
All because of jumpsuit? All because Fran McCaffrey gave you a jumpsuit? Have you ever talked to Fran McCaffrey?
It's a piece of
Whoa,
laundry.
whoa. Have you
This
ever
is crazy,
talked
boss,
to Fran
though.
McCaffrey?
Yes.
Fran.
Yes.
Not the Suns.
Have you talked to him?
Yes. It's the Final Four.
When did you talk to him?
What?
You've talked to the coach.
Yeah, went down. I've seen him a million times.
Yeah.
Okay.
But all for a jumpsuit. I mean, I don't.
You're blocked everywhere.
She blocked.
Look at Dave's reaction here. This isn't just disappointment. This is genuine shock. He thought they had a real relationship. He mentions the Final Four, multiple games attended, staying in touch throughout her WNBA transition. He even says she would have been on his show doing pizza reviews in Indianapolis. That's not casual celebrity access. That's actual friendship. Or at least that's what he thought it was.
Blocked. It was non-stop communication, and now it's blocked. Blocked.
So this needs
That's
to get...
crazy.
Wait, what's
That's crazy, boss.
I don't know how you have not been my boss, but now I'm going to ask on behalf of the employees
Damn, Dave, you got put up on that block list.
here. How do you work in terms of deadline? When does he have to resurrect this fight?
It's never gonna.
I don't know that he has that pull.
No, he doesn't.
I worked on this relationship when you want to talk about working relationship. I was going to watch her play LSU, Iowa in college. I've been working this. We're friends, and he puts a phone in front of me at dinner, and next thing I know, I'm trashing like the boyfriend's coach and dad.
The wedding question is fascinating because Dave's right to wonder, if Caitlyn and Connor get married, is Dave Portnoy invited? Can you invite someone you've blocked? Does this block last forever, or is it temporary damage control to keep the peace with her boyfriend's family? These are legitimate questions about how modern celebrity relationships work. One viral moment, one awkward phone call, and a year-long relationship gets erased.
You know what you got to do now? Become an Angel Reese guy. You got to.
Full villain.
You got to.
Don't do the whole heel turn, Dave. Because of Rico. Let's give Rico a window of time to.
It's the first I'm hearing of.
Will you be at the McCaffreys?
What just happened?
You're close with the McCaffreys. Will you be at that wedding?
Best friends with them.
They're not engaged yet.
But will you be at the wedding?
I would hope so.
So you're allowed to go to that wedding and Coach Willard can't make a mind?
No,
You
be at
can go to
that
that wedding and Coach Willard can't
No
sing
way.
all night long.
I think it's a guy. Yeah.
But let's talk about what this really means. Dave Portnoy has been one of Caitlyn Clark's most vocal defenders in mainstream sports media. When Angel Reese fans came after her, Dave defended her. When people criticized her WNBA transition, Dave supported her. When the league failed to capitalize on her popularity, Dave called it out repeatedly. He used his massive platform to amplify her brand. And now that platform is gone because of something he didn't even say directly.
Out of the way, because this whale, we don't want to have that.
Damn, man, Dave Portnoy done got cut off, man. He done got cut off by Caitlyn Clark. Ain't that some... That's a bad relationship to lose. I got to be all the way honest. That is not a relationship you want to lose. It appears Dave Portnoy has been cut off by the GOAT. All over something that I don't know. I got to see this clip. It may be over something that has absolutely nothing to do with him. Connor was probably like, hey, you got to cut that off. I ain't playing games. Hey, she cut Dave off with the quickness. That is crazy. Get down in the comments and let me know what you guys think, man.
This is where it gets messy for Caitlyn. Because Dave's not going to stay quiet about this. He's already talking about it on his show. He's already making it clear he feels betrayed. And Barstool Sports has millions of followers who are now watching this drama unfold. Some of them are going to side with Dave, some are going to understand Caitlyn's position, but all of them are talking about it. Which means this story has legs beyond just one blocked phone number. The question becomes, what does Caitlyn do now? Does she unblock him and try to smooth things over? Does she stay silent and let it blow over? Does Connor McCaffrey release a statement explaining his side? Because right now, the narrative is being controlled by Dave Portnoy on his podcast. And that's not ideal for anyone trying to maintain a clean public image. Here's what people need to understand about this situation. Caitlyn Clark is 22 years old. She's navigating life as the most famous women's basketball player in America, while also managing a serious relationship with someone whose family just went through a very public, very painful job loss. Fran McCaffrey gave 17 years to Iowa basketball. He recruited Caitlyn. He coached alongside Connor. And then Iowa decided to move in a different direction with Ben McCollum from Missouri State. That's not a small thing. That's a career-defining moment for the McCaffrey family. And when sports media starts analyzing whether it was the right move, whether the grass is greener with McCollum, whether Iowa made a mistake, the McCaffrey family is going to take that personally. They're going to remember who said what, and they're going to expect the people close to them to have their backs. So when someone at that dinner put Connor on the phone with Dave Portnoy, Connor wasn't thinking about Dave's relationship with Caitlyn. He was thinking about his father. He was thinking about 17 years of service to a program that just pushed his dad out. He was thinking about how sports media personalities with massive platforms were casually discussing his family's pain as entertainment content. And Caitlyn had to make a choice: support the media guy who's been great for her brand, or support her boyfriend during one of the hardest moments of his family's life. She chose Connor. Most people in her position would make the same choice. But here's where it gets complicated for her career. Dave Portnoy isn't just some random podcaster. Barstool Sports has built an empire on sports commentary and viral content. They have direct access to millions of young sports fans, the exact demographic Caitlyn needs to maintain her marketability beyond just basketball fans. Cutting off Dave means cutting off that pipeline. It also sets a precedent. If Caitlyn blocks people over indirect criticism of her boyfriend's family, what happens when actual criticism of her comes up? What happens when a reporter writes something she doesn't like? What happens when a commentator questions her performance or her decisions? Does everyone get blocked? Because that's not sustainable for someone who needs media coverage to maintain relevance. Look at how other athletes handle this. LeBron James doesn't block every reporter who criticizes him. He manages those relationships strategically. He gives access to people who cover him fairly, even when they're critical. He understands that media relationships are business relationships. They're not friendships, they're professional arrangements that benefit both parties. Caitlyn seems to be learning this lesson the hard way, because blocking Dave Portnoy over something someone else said about her boyfriend's father is treating this like a personal friendship that got violated. But that's not what this was. This was a mutually beneficial business relationship. Dave got content and access. Caitlyn got promotion and defense from a major platform. Both sides won. Now both sides lose. Dave loses his Caitlyn Clark content pipeline. Caitlyn loses one of her biggest mainstream media advocates. And for what? Because someone at Barstool had an opinion about a college basketball coaching change. That's not proportional to the consequences. The other issue here is Connor's role in all this. Did he ask Caitlyn to block Dave? Did he make it clear he wasn't comfortable with her maintaining that relationship? Because if he did, that's a different conversation. That's about relationship boundaries and loyalty. But if Caitlyn made this decision independently to avoid conflict, that's about poor crisis management. Either way, this is now a public situation. Dave's talking about it openly. The clip is circulating. People are taking sides. And Caitlyn's silence is being interpreted as confirmation that the block is real and intentional, which means she's going to have to address this eventually, either directly or through her actions. Here's my take on what should happen next. Caitlyn should unblock Dave and send a private message explaining the situation. Not an apology because she didn't do anything wrong by supporting her boyfriend, but an explanation. Something like, "The timing was bad, emotions were high with Connor's family situation. I needed some space, but I appreciate everything you've done for me." That keeps the door open. That acknowledges the relationship had value. That gives Dave an off-ramp to stop talking about this publicly. Because right now, he's hurt and he's processing that hurt in front of his audience. But if Caitlyn extends an olive branch privately, he can save face by saying they worked it out. If she doesn't do that, this becomes a permanent fracture. And permanent fractures in the sports media world have consequences. Other media personalities watch how athletes treat their colleagues. If Caitlyn gets a reputation for blocking people over indirect criticism, some reporters and commentators are going to think twice before covering her at all. Why risk the access if one wrong word gets you cut off completely? The WNBA doesn't have the luxury of players being selective about media coverage. The league needs all the attention it can get. Caitlyn Clark is the biggest star they have. Her blocking a major sports media figure over a family loyalty issue is not good for anyone. Not for her, not for Dave, not for the league, and not for the fans who just want to see great basketball without all this drama. So where does this end? Either Caitlyn unblocks him and they move forward awkwardly, or this becomes a permanent split that both sides regret in a year when they realize what they lost. My guess? They'll figure it out eventually. But the damage is done, the trust is broken. And that relationship will never be what it was before that dinner conversation went sideways. The real lesson here is about the cost of loyalty. Caitlyn chose to be loyal to Connor and his family. That's admirable. But loyalty has consequences when it conflicts with business relationships that benefit your career. And figuring out how to balance those competing interests is something every young athlete has to learn. Caitlyn just learned it the hard way. in public, with one of the biggest sports media personalities in America.